Good happy Saturday morning, January 5th, 2019. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, New Hampshire high school employee accused of possessing child sex abuse images. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Tim Callery.
The two charges against them are very serious, and we anticipate more charges.
Conway police received a tip mid-December from the social media website Tumblr, saying that a user uploaded what appeared to be several files of child pornography.
Which is a formality for them. They're mandatory reporters whenever they come across anything looks suspicious like this.
Investigators eventually tracked the IP address of that account to Jones's home in North Conway. Court documents show that during an interview with police, Jones admitted to recently using his cell phone to access child pornography. He also admitted to setting up cameras to tape a teenage boy he knew and distributing nude recordings of that child.
Oh, shocked. Absolutely.
Superintendent of Schools Kevin Richards says Jones passed all background checks prior to being hired as a paraprofessional at Kennett High School.
We do run the criminal background check and fingerprinting. Nothing came back at all. His references came back fine.
Police say Jones also created fake social media pages to acquire pictures of boys. Authorities are continuing their investigation.
We are looking into everything at this point. I really can't comment on the case. It's active and ongoing investigation.
And now police are using this as a reminder to parents to make sure your children know who they are talking with online. Jones was let go officially from his position this morning. Reporting live in Concord, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Airport security workers, New Hampshire farmers among those concerned about government shutdown. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
For a month or two of pay to make sure that people can pay their bills. But it still doesn't make it any easier when you have to go and explain to your creditor why you may not be paying your vehicle payment or your mortgage.
Chris Allen says more than 200 employees at the federal prison in Berlin are watching every move in Washington, D.C., from correctional officers to counselors and medical staff, hoping they'll be paid but vowing to work regardless.
We do what we do for a reason. And, we'll continue to do that and keep the public safe in the meantime.
Senator Jean Shaheen spoke with local farmers in Concord, concerned about the federal dollars they count on in a few months.
It isn't affecting them yet. It will be later on if it goes into the spring.
And at the Manchester-Boston Regional Airport, TSA employees are required to work. We're told transportation security officers will work security checkpoints, paycheck or no paycheck.
You won't see anything unusual. Nothing. Everything will be normal because TSOs are dedicated to the mission, and we come and we do our job.
And federal employees here at the airport say they hope the shutdown ends before next Friday, January 11th, payday. In Manchester, Jean Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Hampton officials concerned ways to avoid repeat of winter floods. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Jennifer Crompton.
January 4th, 2018. Heavy snow, strong winds, and extreme high tides flooding much of Hampton Beach. The ocean's surf crashing in on one side, the marsh rising to historic heights on the other.
The plowing effect that kept the snowbanks on the side of the roads didn't allow the water to drain, so in effect the streets became rivers.
There were rescues from homes because rising water took out utilities, and from vehicles deciding to venture in.
There's a lot of people here longer than me, they will tell you that that was one of the most devastating storms and floods that they've seen in the history of this beach.
It left damage in its wake, including to rescue vehicles, especially fire trucks. In the years since,
We're working on obtaining a military-style vehicle, which is a much higher riding vehicle, so it'll allow us to get into the deeper water without compromising the fire apparatus.
We just ask when these things occur, and they're going to occur again, that when we put out the warning to stay clear of Hampton Beach, we're doing it for a reason.
low-lying property hit hard. The planning board has drafted a warrant article for voters in March that would allow new structures to build an extra 2 feet higher. As for homes already high enough,
But what happens is when it floods, they're like an island. They can't get their car in because the streets are flooded. So I don't know how to solve that one yet. We're trying to figure out how do we hold back the ocean. We don't have an answer for that one yet.
there's another warrant article being put forth by the Conservation Commission, and this one would have property on the marsh have to oblige the same FEMA regulations as those on the ocean side, which is that they have to be built up on a specific piling system. That one's a bit more controversial, and there'll be a public meeting about that on January 16th. We're live at Hampton Beach. Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Possible fireball caught on video striking over Bedford. In the mid-sets of the Quadrants media showers early Friday morning, a possible fireball was caught on a surveillance video. The shower peaks Thursday night into Friday when there were up to 40 meteors an hour. A Bedford man's home surveillance video captured a flash of light and what appears to be a fireball striking over his house. Scientists at McAuliffe Shepherd Discovery Center said that the flash definitely looks like a meteor, but the sighting was not confirmed, and it's not clear if it came from the Quadrants shower or was another piece of space debris. And here's a look at that video. Take a look. Okay, and there you go on that video. Looks very cool. Sununu calls for a study on New Hampshire's highest pediatric cancer rates. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
The new year will bring new resources dedicated to a major healthcare issue. According to the Centers for Disease Control, New Hampshire had the highest rate of child cancers from 2003 to 2014.
It's a very serious issue, something we just cannot ignore any longer.
In his second inaugural address Thursday, Governor Chris Sununu called for a commission to study the problem.
We're looking to learn what the real data is, like where are the data points, are there hotspots? And then from those hotspots, what are the potential causes?
Health and environmental advocates are hopeful this will lead to answers.
I'm really glad that the governor has decided to really address this. I hope he puts some good money into it and really gets experts involved.
Former state rep Mindy Messmer has raised concerns of a cancer cluster in a 5-town area along the seacoast.
Well, we definitely need to limit environmental exposures where we can. So I think there should be a review of what we know and where we know about problems that already exist.
She says one of those steps is addressing arsenic in drinking water, which over a long period of time can increase cancer risk. The state just sent a report to lawmakers proposing to lower the arsenic level limit by 50%.
You know, we need to keep our foot on the gas and figure out what we can do to limit exposures in these children that we know about right now.
Regarding pediatric cancers, Sununu says it's time for solutions.
We can talk about pediatric cancer, or we can really start getting to the brass tacks of not just what it is, but where it is, what's causing it.
Sununu says answers won't come overnight, but that he will make this a top priority of his administration. Reporting live in Concord, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Three dead, 4 injured in shooting at California bowling alley. Three people were killed and 4 others injured in a shooting at bowling alley in Torrance, California, late Friday night. The shooting stemmed from a fight that took place between a group of people at Gable House Bowling Alley, according to eyewitness on the scene. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.